A journey begins with a dream. A dream to conquer the future. And a vision begins to emerge. In 1971, a vision began to take shape in India. A vision called Sulphur Mills Limited. After almost 5 decades, Sulphur Mills today is the largest manufacturer of the new delivery systems-based crop protection and nutrition products in the world.
Right from the beginning, we were sure we wanted to be different.
In 1993, Sulphur Mills became Asia's first and one of the earliest manufacturers in the world to develop the technology for water-dispersible granules, suspension concentrates, microencapsulations and capsulated suspensions. Sulphur Mills Limited has invested heavily in setting up state-of-the-art, high-capacity manufacturing facilities for WDG and various types of capsulated suspensions using multiple actives that enable it to be the world's leading producer of sulfur-based and other various products for application in agriculture.
Sulphur Mills is planning to increase their manufacturing capacity to beyond 100,000 metric tons a year for WDGs alone.
We enjoy a vast network of over 10,000 dealerships and over 40 warehouses across the country.
The promise of REAP is to nourish and shield, thereby resulting in enhanced growth and better yield.
It is our mission to search for better solutions than that are available to the farmer today, and the key towards that is constant innovation. Dev Research Center is a state-of-the-art R&D facility set up by SML. It is the only privately owned research facility set up to develop different formulations right from development to scale up to pilot to commercial for SML as well as other companies.
Internationally, our effort is spearheaded through our distributors and premier research institutes.
We are continuously working towards acquiring the required skill sets and forge global partnerships to expand our international footprint.
Sulphur Mills has a growing patent portfolio of over 25 Indian patents and over 75 foreign patents, including the USA, the EU, Australia, New Zealand and many other countries, with pending applications in over 60 countries. Sulphur Mills' proficiency over its formulation technology has enabled it to develop various strategic alliances with large MNCs globally.
We want to be the center of specialty crop formulations in the world.
With a mission to lead sustainable growth through innovation, Sulphur Mills' fast-growing range of products substantially contribute to expanding the frontiers of agriculture and bring smiles to farmers all over the world. Sulphur Mills strives hard to offer products that are technologically advanced through innovative solutions so that all of us may continue to reap the benefits.
Welcome everyone to the session 2. So this session is about boosting agriculture production with the right use of fertilizers and importance of crop protection. So we'll just wait for a moment for our other speakers to join in. Omama, can you please check the speakers backstage? Okay, so I think without giving more time to this, I think we will start. Dr. Nitin Sood is here with us. Yeah, we have Dominic as well. So welcome speakers to the panel to the second session of our event Africa Agri Expo. So first I would like to invite Dominic Donko. He is a representative. He is board member of West African Fertilizer Association. Mr. Dominic is going to talk about the insights and updates on the key factors affecting fertilizer demand. Mr. Dominic, the stage is yours now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I feel very honored to do this presentation on the insights of fertilizer demand. Let me start first by quoting Professor Henry Algren, an American professor who in 1849 stated that, and I quote, the soil comes first. It is the basis, the foundation of farming. Without it, nothing. With good soils, good farming, and good living. An understanding of agriculture begins first with an understanding of the soil. Based on this, we have realized that crop nutrition is very, very key, and for yield per hectare. But on the contrary, fertilizer use has been on the decline for some time now. But let's have a look at the fertilizer markets in Africa. The agricultural sector makes up for 60% of the workforce in Africa, and Africa has 60% of the world's uncultivated arable land. However, fertilizer application rate in Africa is only about 20 kilograms per hectare. This means that Africa has huge potential to produce food more than it currently does. Now, there are so many factors that are really affecting fertilizer demand. There's a prerequisite of the usage of the fertilizer. The prerequisite to the usage of fertilizers is knowledge and trust in fertilizer. Farmers' demand for fertilizer is a function of their ability to sell their agricultural products as a rewarding price. Those factors affecting demands are very key. There are so many factors, but I will highlight on the major ones. First one is access to market. Cash crops are by default at the forefront of the fertilizer consumption in several countries. That is cotton in Francophone countries and cocoa and in Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. Another factor that is affecting fertilizer demand is the price of the commodity, or as against cost of fertilizer ratio. Where there is a market for the commodity produced, the farmer would use fertilizer and it enables him to increase his yield. One other factor is that if the conditions above are met, the products need to be physically available where the farmers can access it when it is necessary. So now you look at the 4 R's in fertilizer application. What are the 4 R's? The right time, the right place, the right source, and the right rate. Over the past decade, there has been an increase in fertilizer consumption in Africa. And unfortunately, some people, though they understand the usage of fertilizer, because they don't get the fertilizer at the right time, it increases their cost of production. However, it does not increase their yield because they did not get it at the right time to apply. Also, the right place. When it comes to placement of fertilizers, initially, some farmers did not even know where to place their fertilizers. Because of that, they did not see the importance of using fertilizers because they were not getting the correct yield. But with the intervention of the private and the public sector in extension delivery, where farmers are being educated on the farmers' field through demonstrations, these things has improved and has increased the demand for fertilizer. Also, let us look at the source. Sometimes the source of the fertilizer, and the source, I'm talking about fertilizer quality. there are sources of fertilizer where the quality is not up to standard. And when the quality is not up to standard, what happens is that farmers will use less quality fertilizers, and this affects their cost of production, it affects their yields, and they don't see the essence of using fertilizer. However, with some special interventions where the sources of quality fertilizer are made available, farmers are now increasing, and this is attributed to the upsurge in consumption rates or demand for fertilizers. Now, let's look at affordability. How affordable are our fertilizers? In Africa, a lot of countries don't even produce their own fertilizer, with the exception of Nigeria, Morocco, and a few. Most fertilizers are imported. By the time it gets to the farmer, the price or the cost buildup is becoming so much that farmers cannot even afford it. And if they cannot afford it, it means that they are not going to apply. So there are some interventions from the some governments, especially Ghana. We have the Planting for Food and Jobs program, where the government subsidizes fertilizer at a higher rate of about 50%. And because of that, farmers are now having access to fertilizer at a cheaper price. Also, Nigeria also have the Presidential Special Initiative, which was a subsidy program, which also increased consumption rate of fertilizer. All these things affect fertilizer consumption or demand. However, there are other factors that are mitigating against these things. When it is a government tender, what happens is that sometimes the fertilizers, because it's tender, are delayed. And the moment it is delayed, getting to the farmer is very difficult. But the moment the farmer gets it, because the farmer knows that a late application is not going to increase his yield per acre or hectare, then the farmer is not convinced to apply because of the time of arrival of the fertilizers. And all these factors have gone a long way to contribute to the consumption of fertilizers. Another challenge that is faced with the demand is also the fact that in most of the African countries, especially sub-Saharan Africa, most of the farms can be located in the remote rural areas. And the unfortunate thing is, because we are talking about the right time of application, by the time the fertilizers move from the ports and reaches the end user, who is the farmer, what is going to happen is that the fertilizers arrive late, and so wrong timely application. In all these, there are some interventions. If you look at Kenya, the railway system has now been improved, where initially trucks will use about 24 hours transporting fertilizers from Mombasa and Kenya. But now, with the introduction of the railway, it's like now it has reduced to 8 hours. And all these are going to influence the fertilizer demand. So, in fact, if there are more interventions, what is going to happen is that with fertilizer on the ground, those are tricky state because farmers have money during the harvest period, but need fertilizer during the sowing period. So financial mechanisms like credit schemes or buyer contracts are often welcome to solve this problem. Subsidy and other government interventions work to lower the price of fertilizer, but they often come with their own challenges. And so some farmers in West Africa are aware of fertilizer, but confused about the advantages and disadvantages. Some farmers are often misinformed about the risk and techniques to make the most out of the fertilizer, leading to some of them to stay away from it, especially in regions with good rainfall. There is also a false information which sometimes mislead farmers about biofertilizers, thereby confusing them more. This also reduces demand. The market demand for both food and cash crop is healthy in most countries, but the food supply chain is often not functioning optimally. Thus, farmers cannot fully take advantage of the situation, and this decreases demand. On this front, cash crops are performing well in most countries. And one of the main reasons for this price increase in the farmers in Brazil and the US are buying large quantities of the fertilizer as they have very profitable future production. Contracts for these, their soybean, cotton, or maize, pulling up and drying smaller markets like ours, since we are price takers. While they are buying 100,000 tons, we in West Africa buy 30 tons individually, so that so the international market tends to serve the countries with higher demand before they look at the smaller demand. This year, for instance, fertilizers are virtually missing, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. And if you come to my country, Ghana, for instance, farmers are not having access because the global market prices are shot high, and also the companies, the suppliers, have moved to well-structured markets in Europe and America, Asia. But notwithstanding, if everything is put in order to manage all these problems encountered, I think that the fertilizer consumption rate in Africa will increase to about 50 kilograms per hectare, as declared in the Abuja Declaration. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dominic. I am sure everyone was very interested in your presentation. The excitement, the enthusiasm was clearly visible, and we enjoyed the presentation, your speech. Thank you so much, Dominic. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Nitin Sood. He is the General Manager for International Business at Sulphur Mills Limited. He is going to talk about the technology of new delivery system in sulfur and zinc for improved soil health, crop nutrition, and enhanced productivity. Dr. Nitin Sood, I am very glad to give the stage to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Afshin. Thanks a lot. So let me share the screen.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the ladies and gentlemen across the world who are participating in Africa Agri Expo. I welcome all of you on behalf of Sulphur Mills Limited. And today I'm going to talk about technology of new delivery systems in sulfur and zinc for improved soil health and crop nutrition and enhanced productivity. So just a quick, content. So I'll talk in brief about sulphur mills, very brief. Then talk about the importance of sulfur and zinc in the global agriculture. We'll talk about
Dr. Nitin, just a moment. Can you please unmute yourself?
I'm sorry for that. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, we heard till the brief about sulfur mills, and then you can continue.
Yeah. So I think I need to welcome you again, or welcome all of you once again. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I welcome all of you to this Africa Expo, and on behalf of Sulphur Mills. So as I mentioned, I'll be talking about technology of new delivery systems in sulfur and zinc for improved soil health, crop nutrition, and enhanced productivity. And this is going to be the flow of contents, a brief about sulfur mills, just a quick snapshot of sulfur and zinc, importance of sulfur and zinc in global agriculture, quick facts around challenges in the traditional sulfur fertilizers and what the new technology of sulfur brings in through TechnoS. Quick facts around challenges with zinc fertilizers and what the new technology of sulfur mills with TechnoZ that we bring in. So, just to talk of sulfur mills, we've been in the industry for the last 5 decades. We are present across the product categories, right from insecticides, herbicides, fungicides, and now we're expanding rapidly in the crop nutrition space. We've got a very strong patent base, more than 370 patents across the world. Historically, sulfur mill is known for introducing some of the most complex formulations in the market, and I think that's where sulfur mill is known for being the pioneers in Asia in the formulation platform technologies. We've got 6 formulation plants and 1 technical synthesis plant and largest WDG capacities in the world. So that's where we stand in terms of our infra and future plans. To give you a quick snapshot there, we are working on more and more innovative product introductions, with the new off-patent mixtures, advanced formulations in crop protection, and also in the crop nutrition space. But the new vertical that we are parallelly working on is the biological space that we intend to enter. So I think that's just a quick snapshot. Just looking into the overall time that we have, I'm just running to the next slide now. So as you know, today and tomorrow, I think everyone is going to talk about the global food security challenges that everyone is facing, and so from the current population of around 7.6 billion, which is expected to grow to around 9.2 billion by 2050, and which is the major growth is going to come from sub-Saharan Africa and Asia. And if you really look at the estimates, the farmers would need to increase the production by 60% on an average, 60 to 70% to feed this growing population. So just talking of world cereal production alone, we would need to reach around 3 billion tons compared to 2 billion tons where we stand today. Interesting part is that the per capita arable land worldwide was 0.42 hectares in 1960, which is expected to reduce further to 0.19 hectares in 2050. So, this is in spite of all the increases that are going to happen in sub-Saharan Africa and the Latin American, countries. So which definitely means that there would be a pressure on the increased productivity from the existing lands. So I think the takeaway is that besides the technologies that we would be working on to increase the productivity, our soil health, which has been deteriorating due to intensification, loss of organic matter, and over application of fertilizers, will need to be taken care to ensure the right crop nutrition and nutrition use efficiency. Just a quick look on one of the studies conducted by USDA, and you'll see that over the last 100 years, the mineral levels in the soil have been declining rapidly, and at the same time, on the right-hand side, you see there's a steep increase in the overall disease, human illnesses that have been increasing. The point that what I want to bring in here is that soils across the globe have concerns, and human health is indirectly related to the soil health. A quick look at the top trends in agriculture. Internet of Things is for sure the top trend, which wherein the artificial intelligence, GIS, precision agriculture will take over the entire predictive analysis at farm level, be it related to soil, irrigation, disease, etc., etc., etc. And one of the offshoots of this Internet of Things is the blockchain technology, which I've taken separately out here, which actually would be changing the entire global scene in agriculture in the next 3 to 4 years. It's expected to grow by 87%. But let's not forget the basics, that the third trend which you see here is the water conservation. So water is definitely going to be a scarce commodity. It's going to be scarce. So it will be very important to irrigate lands according to the real needs of the crops, and moisture contents which based on the soil moisture contents. And I think in this regard, the micro irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, all those application methods would definitely take an upper edge. Now, on an overall, the major trend, one of the trend which stays across, key trend would be the need, increase in the nutrient use efficiency, the need of using lesser nutrient to obtain the desired level of production. It would be no surprise if I were to say that nitrogen use efficiency has decreased from 68% in 1961 to 45% now, which means that less than half of the nitrogen fertilizer that is applied is actually taken up by the plants, and the remaining nitrogen fertilizer is being lost to the broader environment. So the takeaway from the trends is that future agriculture, especially in the soil nutrient management space, is shifting to technologies which are more site-specific, low dose, environmentally friendly, both in terms of conserving soil and water. And sulfur mills' technological advances are directed towards this direction. So maybe everyone knows about sulfur, but important here is that after nitrogen today, sulfur is the next major nutrient considered globally, and it has a role across the plant systems and functions. So right from nitrogen fixation, they're a part of amino acids, help in protein synthesis. Then sulfur acts as a catalyst in chlorophyll synthesis, so photosynthesis depends on it. It helps in the reduction of soil pH, which is one of the major usages of sulfur which has come up across. It also helps in taking care of abiotic stresses on crop plants, and a direct correlation in the oil content in oil seeds has been observed with sulfur. Of course, with all these, sulfur is definitely helping in increasing the overall yield and quality of the crop. So now that we understand that sulfur is one of the major plant nutrients, the point is that if you look at the last 50 years, there has been a growing deficiency of sulfur globally, which is driven by three factors. One, that sulfur emissions from the industries was a major source of sulfur from the atmosphere to the lands. And in the past 50 years, that emissions have reduced. Modern agriculture is becoming more and more intensive, which is depleting this, which is removing the sulfur. And traditionally, there has been a focus on high analysis sulfur-free fertilizers. So that's where this deficiency is increasing at a very rapid pace. According to Sulfur Institute, the global sulfur deficiency is estimated to be around 12 million metric tons, majorly being observed in Asia and Africa, which are the leading continents. But according to some experts, this is a little earlier data, and this has now gone up to 20 million tons. So sulfur is important. There's a deficiency. And what does the traditional what do the traditional sulfur fertilizers offer? There are challenges. The water-soluble sulfate forms of fertilizer are prone to excessive leaching and runoff losses. 8 to 12% of nutrient use efficiency is what you see. And that also at high, and that's the reason high dosages are there still. That is the situation. The particle size of the traditional sulfur granules is ranging between 50 to 180 microns. And just imagine elemental sulfur in such a big micron size would take a long time to convert to sulfates. So, at the same time, these elemental sulfur fertilizers can't be used in fertigation, which is the way forward. So, just to give you a basic around sulfur availability, sulfur is available to the plant. It's taken up by the plant in sulfate form. It is definitely three major factors which regulate this: microbial population, which is the bacillus, the bacteria. On the right side, you see the various soil parameters, be it pH, temperature, moisture. And so these two factors definitely are in little control. But then the third factor, which is physical properties of the sulfur fertilizers, particle size and form, is what we have been working on. And that brings us to the technology that we are talking about. This is could look as a simple known thing, but I would just like to explain this a little further. So this is one particle of one, you can consider as one particle or one cube, and this cube has 6 faces. Now if we split this cube to 8 cubes, which means now this will have 48 faces, and the surface area would increase, it would actually double up. If this same cube is divided into 64 cubes, so basically overall volume stays constant for each of these cubes, but the number of faces increase from 6 faces to 384 faces, and the surface area increases from 6. I mean, it's 4 times. So that's what is the microgranule delivery system, the new technology that Sulfur Mill has brought in since last 2 years. We've been, we have been working in for a long time, and we have been launching these technologies across the world since the last 2 years. The advantage that you get by using these kind of by this microgranules is that you get a large surface area. The sulfur, elemental sulfur, gets a large surface area where the bacillus can act, and there's a good quick oxidation which helps in the sulfate availability to the crops. So TechnoS, or the Fertis, with its micron-sized sulfur particles, gets converted to sulfate at a faster rate and is very effective at a lower dosage. That's important to note. TechnoS starts working very early. Within 48 hours of application, you can see this working. And that's because of this micron technology that Sulfur Mills talks about. Just quick comparison about what current elemental sulfurs, how they are, and what Sulfur Mill, TechnoS or Fertis, the Sulfur Mills sulfur is like. On the left side, you see the granules are very low or almost negligible. They don't disperse in the water, nor in the soil solution. The size is 70 microns, and when these granules are applied on the soil, they are distributed. They are very far from the root contact. So because of the size, as you can see, for example, here 2 granules is what you can see, which will take time to really split and being available and convert to sulfate. It almost takes 1 year sometimes even more. And on the right side, we have Sulfur Mill technology, which talks of 2 to 4 micron size particles, perfect dispersible micronized granules. And then there is, just look at this plant, and just look at the particle distribution. These microgranules get so well distributed that they are available for oxidation, they are available for quick sulfate conversion and root interception and for the overall uptake of the plant. And that's the reason you have a higher nutrition use efficiency. Interesting part is that you can apply this TechnoS as the normal broadcast. I mean, you have been applying it through broadcast, mixing with soil, mixing with urea, whatever. But the future talks about saving water. The future talks about micro irrigation. The future talks about drip irrigation, pivot application, sprinkler irrigation. And that's where this product fits very well. Why? Because there is the particle size is so small. There's no clogging of nozzles, no clogging of systems, no clogging of emitters, nothing. This is how, from the 3rd day after application, the sulfur gets available to the plant. And for all the plants, actually most of the crops across the world, initial 60 to 70, actually initial 60 days are the ones where you need most of sulfur, where the requirement of sulfur is huge. And that's where the leaching losses from other conventional fertilizers, makes the less availability of sulfur. And here is where, TechnoS brings in this technology brings the advantage of availability of sulfur. I won't go in detail, but across we've conducted several trials and which have been conducted by various institutes, and we've observed an yield increases of around 10 to 20% and even more, and from varying from crop to crop, and that also at reduced dosages of sulfur. So just to give you a quick snapshot, TechnoS, it's a formulation, it's a formulation with a high nutrient density, very quick breakdown of water dispersible granules, availability to the soil within 48 hours, and availability to the bacteria, to the bacillus, very quick, so oxidation begins quickly. Soil dynamics, okay, it improves the pH of alkaline soils and helps in the uptake of nutrients. Reduced leaching, of course, that is there, and availability throughout the major part of the season, which is I think the underlining thing. Application dynamics, as I mentioned, it can be applied anyways, with the conventional methods as well as the futuristic application methods. And it saves a lot of space, transportation costs, labor costs, everything. The dose, look at the dose. It's 7.5 to 30 kg max per hectare. That depends, of course, from soil to soil, but that's the range. And look at the conventional bentonites. They range from 30 to 100 kg. So I think that's what about sulfur was. And now I'll just quickly run through zinc. I know there are time constraints, but just quickly running through zinc. Of course, one of the major micronutrient which is having deficiencies across. It's got a major role across and the various functions of the plants, right from reproduction to protein synthesis, photosynthesis. It is estimated that a reduction deficiency of zinc can cause reduction of 50 to 70% in net photosynthesis. That's something which we should carry today with ourselves. A role in abiotic stresses, plant defense mechanisms, yield and quality. I can talk in detail maybe on a separate platform. I'll just quickly rush because looking into the time. Important is that zinc deficiency is the most common deficiency globally, affecting more than 50% of the soils. While Africa, 88% of soils in sub-Saharan Africa are deficient in zinc. It is estimated that 60 to 70% of the population in Asia and Africa could be at a risk of low zinc intake. So that's where the role of zinc comes in. And look at the zinc deficiency, major micronutrient deficiency across the world. And look at what the zinc traditional fertilizers are offering. There are challenges in those applications, low nutrient use efficiency, limited addressal of the zinc requirements of the crops, because there's a massive leaching which is happening for zinc sulfates. You need multiple applications. The fertilizers are not compatible with other fertilizers. They cannot mix with DAP and all. They are hygrosopic in nature. And most important, foliar applications of zinc alone are insufficient to fully take care of zinc needs to the plant. For foliar applications can correct your yellowing, but to get an impact on the yields, you need to apply it on soil. And that's where again the technologies that we've been working on come into play. So quick fundamentals: availability of zinc is in Zn2 positive ion, the cations, which is determined by, of course, the soil route of absorption. It depends on a large extent to the pH. Zinc is not available in alkaline pH, and there are a lot of other factors. But again, this physical properties is something which we always found is in our control, and which can help the farmers get a better product. And that's where this is a similar technology which I spoke when I was talking about sulfur. And here I would just like to add that this product is talking of optimum release technology. That's so important. Look at the sulfur demand. Look at the zinc demand through the crop. It's growing as the crop grows, up to even more than flowering it goes. It's beyond that, right? Actually up to maturity. And the traditional fertilizers, the supply, the graph that's going down, the right side, you can see that. And when we talk of optimum release technology, which sulfur mill offers through TechnoS. You see the supply of zinc throughout the season. The zinc is available throughout the season to take care of all the zinc requirements of the crop. So that's, across the crops, the various results that we've seen. Again, yield increases have been much, much beyond, it's even gone up to 35% on records increase. So, we were still working. And an important point here is the biofortification of zinc. We observed that there is definitely an element of biofortification. There's an increased uptake of zinc within the plant when you apply Techno-Z, which is almost, on an average, it is around 7% over the zinc sulfate, but over, of course, untreated, it's around 30% more. So that's where we talk of Techno-Z, again, the world's first low-dose zinc-based fertilizer. Techno-S or Fertis was the world's first low-dose sulfur fertilizer. Techno-Z is world's first low-dose zinc-based fertilizer, helping farmers across in the cost-benefit ratio, in terms of it's OMRI listed. Both the products are OMRI listed for your information. So, I've already spoken about the soil dynamics and application dynamics, the flexibility of use and reduction in the overall losses, increased efficiency, nutrient use efficiency is what we talk of. So I'll just like to end my presentation with this essence of technology that we were talking about, that where I began this presentation. We are talking of fertilizers with high nutrient use efficiencies, less chemical application in the field and getting, more yields, high active loading so that there is less and less wasteful inerts in the, in the formulations, lower dosages so that the overall impact on the environment is reduced. Effectiveness for longer duration, and that's where our optimum release technology comes into play. And of course, ease of use in micro irrigation due to the characteristic as it, both the products easily disperse in water and do not cause any clogging issues or anything. So just to give you, we've tested the products across the globe. These are our teams who've conducted trials across. You see Brazil, Turkey, Kazakhstan, Saudi Arabia, Colombia, coffee. Vietnam. So I think this is just to showcase, how the product is being used, and we've got excellent results. So welcome to the new technology, new world. And I think I'll end this presentation here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nitin. It was very well explained and very well presented. I would request all the speakers to, just upload their presentations in the handouts section, because a lot of people are asking about the presentations if they can be available. Very interesting once again. Next, I would like to invite, because we are running short of time, so I will quickly invite Maxim on the stage, where he would explain us what is balanced crop fertilization and why it is necessary. Maxim is the marketing director of United Fertilizers Company Limited. Maxim, the stage is yours now.
Hello, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to present here. I'm gonna share my screen and just go for presentation. Okay, can you see the presentation now?
Yes, that's perfect. Please go ahead.
All right, so I guess that this presentation is going to be a complement presentation to a previous speaker. Also my colleague raised a very important question of applying fertilizers timely and in amounts that are necessary. Let me start with the introduction, with a short introduction. My name is Maxim. I'm in charge of agronomy and marketing operations of United Fertilizer Company Limited. This company is a trading arm of two manufacturers of fertilizers that are based in Russia, and we exclusively represent Uralchem and Uralkali in Africa. So today and next few slides, I'm going to talk about balanced crop fertilization. What is it? Why is it necessary? And why is it beneficial? So a part of selling fertilizers, we are also distributing the knowledge about balanced crop fertilization and its importance. So I'll start the presentation with what is balanced crop fertilization, so with its determination. And so it's basically a balanced combination of nutrients that are available for crop uptake from soil, and also a nutrient fertilization that is synchronized with plant nutrient demand. So why balanced nutrition? So once again, right? Crops require energy in the form of light, carbon, water, and minerals for healthy and productive growth during the vegetation period. So plant assimilates carbon from the air, carbon dioxide, by its leaves, and through the process of photosynthesis transforms these carbon into other chemical compounds. Vital for its life and also for our consumption. Crops absorb water and minerals from the soil, and plant nutrients are building blocks for crop body and for the yield. So without nutrients, crops cannot grow. So it's a very short summary. I guess that everyone knows that pretty well. So we are not going to stop here for a long time. So I'm going to just process further and just why balanced nutrition is necessary is just because, as we already mentioned, the crop collects nutrients from the soil, so it gets nutrients from the soil, transports it to its body, to the leaves, from the leaves to other organs, and then when we collect yield from the field, so we also remove part of that yield, part of those nutrients mined from the soil away. And if we do not apply anything in exchange to compensate that removed quantity of nutrients, so we soon end up with a poor soil fertility. So the soil fertility is going to decrease, and thus, which is going to lead to finally to a degradation of soil and a loss of production, loss of yields, and to a total impossibility of growing anything there that is of some value for us. So therefore, we agronomists, they use various sources of nutrients, including organic matter and inorganic fertilizers. So organic matter is very important for the health of the soil because it provides the soil with carbon, provides the soil with organic matter, increases the physical quality of the soil, so its structure as well as water holding capacity of the soil, which is very important, gives comfortable conditions, creates comfortable conditions for microorganisms as well. Organic matter does contain nutrients. However, in smaller amounts, it's quite small amounts. So, for instance, it might be the content of nitrogen, NP, and K might be about a range of 2-5%, not more than that. This is the first part, and the second thing is that the nutrients that are contained contained in organic matter are not available for crop uptake, are not readily available for crop uptake. So they required some time to get released of the organic compounds into the mineral state and be able to be assimilated by crop roots. So this process is called mineralization. It requires time and requires special conditions. So therefore, we need to apply also inorganic fertilizers that contain NPK and some other nutrients like sulfur, zinc, boron, calcium, and others in order to deliver the food for the crop and to make its growth. To provide with food to its growth. So therefore, we are maintaining high level of soil fertility and compensate the removal of nutrients with harvested crops. So fertilizers are the sources of readily available nutrients required for high crop production and that are also that replace that nutrients that are removed with harvested produce. Coming back to balanced nutrition, I must say that this is basically a best management practice in terms of fertilization. So this best management practice has these two key points: to assure balanced combination of nutrients available for crop uptake, and the second key point is to synchronize nutrient availability with plant nutrient demand. So this best management practice is directed to reduce nutrient leaching losses, increase the efficiency of fertilizers, and improve cost-to-benefit ratio, so improve the economics of entire production system. When we talk about balanced combination of nutrients, we basically mean that these nutrients should be provided in those amounts that are required by the crop, and the requirement by the crop are different for each nutrient separately. I mean, these requirements are also quite different within same crop, but different varieties. But in general, like for instance on this slide, in general for instance maize, tomato, and sorghum, the ratios of N to P to K would be some per ton of produce would be something like those that we can see on the screen, which is which is also very important because usually, for instance, a farmer or agronomist is concentrated on sources of nitrogen, phosphorus, for instance, and does not really take into consideration the K, which is very important in crop production and crop growth, and I'm going to say a few words about that in a few slides. Therefore, we need to pay attention on the amount of nutrients that is available in the soil and that are going to be removed with the crop that we grow. Talking about the synchronization of nutrient availability with nutrient demand, I mean basically the things that crops require nutrients differently during the time. So by way of example here, for instance, we can see the dynamics of nutrient uptake with growth of maize and sorghum, and we can see three different lines. So the green one represents nitrogen, the blue one is phosphorus, and the grayish is potassium. So we can see that in the beginning of the crop growth, the nutrient uptake is quite low, which is quite logical because the crop itself is quite small, but this uptake rate increases upon the development of the crop itself. So the takeaway points are that nutrient uptake is not constant over time. Uptake rates are increasing as plant grows bigger, and we can also observe that nitrogen and potassium uptake curves pick up at early stages of crop development, as for instance, because nitrogen is a building block for entire plant body, proteins, and chlorophyll. And potassium plays a vital role in nutrients transport in crop water balance, as well as for instance nitrogen assimilation. So it's very important to consider those nutrients in our fertilization program. So what is the role of potassium in balanced fertilization? I have already started to talk about that. So usually soils are characterized with medium or high potassium content, especially the soils in Eastern Africa, for instance, or like Ethiopia, Kenya. But nevertheless, most of the soils, the potassium that is that contains in the soil is not available for plants. So it is either in the structure of minerals, or some other compounds that are not readily available for crop. So there is also a high risk of potassium losses due to lower availability, which is typical for sandy soils and soils with higher organic matter content. And if potassium uptake and losses are not compensated with application of fertilizers, its content will inevitably decrease. And the major role of potassium, once again, is to maintain the water balance in the crop, so it can keep its vigor to stand straight and grow, transport water and carbohydrates and other nutrients between plant organs, and also potassium contributes to root system development. So basically, it means that potassium cares about, is in charge of overall plant health. So plant withstands better the pests attacks or diseases and drought conditions or waterlogging conditions when they have enough potassium in anesthesia. Just a few pictures of the work that we do. So here, for instance, we can see the three different pictures of maize that show the traditional application of some fertilizers that are traditionally applied in a southern part of Africa, for instance, in Zambia, Zimbabwe. The one that is used on the left-hand side is NPK 10-20-10, which contains, let's say, more nitrogen and phosphorus, because we also apply provide some top dressing nitrogen fertilization. And then on the right-hand side, in the middle and on the right, we can see how plants look like when additional potassium is applied. So we can see that plants grow taller, the stems are thicker. Also, the root system actually quite a bit more stronger. So all these effects are observable with time. So not right away. It's not like after nitrogen application, for instance, but it's still very important. Also, just another picture showing again the same effect, but it has been done another year. This demonstration plot, and also the cob size and cob filling of maize, for instance, increases. So just as an example. Do I need to apply potassium? At UFCA we have actually a service on our website where everyone who is keen to know how many nutrients, what to apply to their field, what's needed to apply to the field, and what's potential yield they can collect from their field in Africa. Can figure out. So just visit our website. There's a tab of information for farmers. Click on information for farmers, and then just find the location of the field. Click somewhere within the borders of the field, and one can see what is the actual yield and the requirements of NP and K for actual yield, and what is the potential, what might be the potential yield and NPK requirements for that. And just quickly, 3 slides about who we are. So United Fertilizer Company Limited exclusively represents Uralkali and Uralchem in Africa. Uralkali is manufacturer of potassium chloride. Uralchem produces nitrogenous fertilizers such as urea ammonium nitrate, calcium ammonium nitrate, and various compound NPKs. In terms of absolute numbers, Uralchem produces around 6.4 million metric tons of various products per year, and Uralkali manufactures about 12 million metric tons of various grades of potassium chloride. All the production facilities are located in Russia, but we distribute the fertilizers all around the globe, including Africa. In Africa, we are present in more than 30 countries. So our product range, just once again, please, you're absolutely welcome to visit our website and our booth at this conference, and we can anyone who is interested, we can discuss what might be what product might suit better, and how can we collaborate in order to deliver the balanced fertilization to grower. Thank you very much. So I'm stopping my presentation here. Thanks a lot for your attention.
Thank you so much, Maxim. It was a great continuation to the previous presentation, and I am sure a lot of people are very interested to discuss more about what you expressed and what your company has to provide with you. Again, I would like to bring to the notice of our audience that they can meet the exhibitors at their exhibition booth by going and clicking the button on the left sides of their screen. You can grab a seat with other stakeholders and other participants of the event by going to the lounge and the lobby. Before moving ahead and moving to the next presentation by Dr. Wimla, we have a question for Mr. Dominic. Is basically that can the increasing global environmental consequences be controlled with the right use of fertilizers? Yes, Mr. Dominic, can you please unmute? Yeah.
The question था? Oh, sorry.
Yes. Can you say something?
Can you come again with a question?
Yes. So the question was, can the increasing global environmental consequences be controlled with the right use of fertilizers?
If I heard you, I said that can the what?
Can the increasing global environmental consequences?
Yes. What is happening is that there's a huge potential in Africa. And if the fertilizers come at the right time, they arrive in Africa at the right time, and the prices are affordable, it means that fertilizer consumption will really go high. So there's a huge potential in Africa that we invite all the fertilizer suppliers to come to Africa so that we can all really make sure that we get the fertilizers at the right time, good source, that's quality fertilizer. I like the presentations of the subsequent speakers and the type of fertilizers that they are talking about, because fertilizer usage is now catching up in Africa. And some with the crop and soil specific fertilizers, people now understand it, that blanket type of fertilizer application is not of good use, but we have to get good nutritional requirements for the crop and of the soil as well. A lot of people don't know even the quantity of fertilizer to apply per crop. But like the previous speakers, you could see the importance of sulfur, potassium, etc. So if we are able to get fertilizers which are really crop and soil specific and which will come on time and affordable, I think that Africa has a huge market for the global fertilizer industry.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dominic. Thank you for the answer. Now I think we will move on to the next presentation by Dr. Vimala. She has sent us a recorded presentation, so I would like to play that on her behalf. Dr. Vimala is the Senior General Manager for IPL Biologicals, and her presentation is about the future beyond chemicals, what biologicals has to offer. Let me just share my screen to show it.
And today the topic of the presentation I would like to present is on biologicals future beyond chemicals. So I'll just take you through the presentation, and I'll just take you through our company. IPL Biologicals is totally focused on naturally occurring microorganism based products, and we have been working since 1994. It's almost a 25 years old company, and we have certain core values like quality, customer first, long-term, ethics and ownership. And our entire research and the product development is based on, we have a high-tech R&D lab, that is Technology and Innovation Center. Our manufacturing unit is of high-tech pharma grade. Our entire concept is developing the products in the laboratory and taking it to the farm, lab to land technology. So we focus on very vigorous product validation trials. And the core competency of my company, our company, is identifying the most effective strains and converting that into a high density formulation with enhanced shelf life. And this product is validated at all levels, then taken for commercialization. So IPL Biologicals, mostly we work on microbial based solutions and replacing the existing chemicals wherever it is possible. Our entire vision of the company is to create a chemical-free world. Coming to our portfolio, we believe in holistic approach. Means when you want to address a problem, the problem has to be addressed in holistic instead of addressing the problem in separation. So we have a range and meet the need of nutrition, pesticides, fungicides, growth promotion, and seed treatment. So coming to we have the biggest product range in terms of nutrient management, disease management, insect and pest management, seed treatment, growth promoters, and decompose. Our product has a higher CFU. As I told, we work on high density technology and a longer shelf life. Actually, these products, since it is biological, they are very cost effective and environmental friendly compared to the chemical fertilizers. In case of urea, you have to apply 80 kg, but in case of our products, it's only 1 liter per acre. So in all the products, whatever we have commercialized, these are registered at CIB and RC, biofertilizer, or as per the fertilizer control order. All our products are certified by INDOCERT, IMO, and OMRI. And we have a nationwide network of distributors. We are in almost 14 states. Coming to the portfolio categorization, we have got biological fertilizers, we have got biological fungicides, biological insecticides, and growth promoters. As I told you, we believe in a holistic approach. You have to give good nutrition to the plant to make it a disease resistant. You have to give nutrition to the plant to make it pesticide resistant, pest resistant. So that's the reason we have products in each category. Coming to biological fertilizers, NPK or the major nutrient that is required for the plant. So in case of nitrogen, in that segment, we have got Acetobacter, Rhizobium, Azospirillum. And we have got products in all the type of formulation. That's a user-friendly formulations. We have products for granular formulation, liquid formulation, oil applications, seedling treatment, or drip irrigation. So in that way, we have made all our formulations very user-friendly, and they are in different formulations also, like liquid, granule, and WP, and the application also. You can apply it either in the soil, you can apply it in seed treatment, you can apply it, they fit in the seedling treatment also, or drip irrigations. So in case of Acetobacter, these are the formulations we have got. In case of Potash Activa, these are the formulations we have got. And in case of phosphate solubilizing bacteria, we have got liquid as well as granular formulations. Zinc activator, that is for zinc solubilizing bacteria, we have got liquid, powder, and granular, which can be used in both drip as well as soil applications. And we have got vesicular, arbesicular mycorrhiza. We have got in tablet, granular, and powder formulations. In granular formulations, we give 60 spores per gram. Whereas in case of powder formulations, it's a water-soluble formulations, we are giving 1000 spores per gram. And we have got sulfur and iron solubilizing bacteria in a powder, granular form as well as powder form, where you can apply it in the soil. So Rhizobium, that is exclusively for seed treatment of legumes. Then we have got bio-NPK, that is a consortium of nitrogen fixer, a phosphorus solubilizer, and a potassium mobilizer. Here also we have both liquid and granular formulation, and we have got certain products exclusively for crop specific. So this Acetobacter based products are very crop specific. You can use it for sugarcane. Similarly, we have got certain products where I told you in the beginning, we work on high density technology. The existing CFU of some products, our products are 1 into 10 power 8. Then we have come out with products 100 times more powerful and more virulent. These are nitroCA, phosphaceA, potassium, zincaceA. In case of nitroCA, we have Acetobacter 1 into 10 power 10. PhosphaceA 1 into 10 power. Here these products are recommended instead of 1 liter per acre, we recommend 50 ml per acre. These are the different types of products we have got. Presently we have got it in nitrogen fixers, phosphate mobilizers, potash mobilizing, and zinc solubilizers. Next is the biological fungicides, where the entire solutions we are giving through microbes. So we have got Trichoderma viridae and Trichoderma harzianum, that is for the control of diseases. We have got Pseudomonas fluorescens, we have got Ampylomyces, we have got Bacillus subtilis. In case of Trichoderma viridae, harzianum, we have got Pseudomonas, we have got liquid and powder. Can be applied in nurseries, seedlings, seed treatment, soil application, drip, foliar spray. And Ampylomyces we have in liquid formulations, and Bacillus subtilis we have in liquid formulations. So coming to biological insecticide, that is a very important segment. There also we have got Beauveria bassiana, Bacillus thuringiensis, Verticillium lacani, Beauveria bassiana, both liquid and powder formulation. Metarhizium, liquid and powder formulation.
African Expo, it's an international program. I understand.
So these are the different types of microbes, widest range of microbes we got. The control of sucking pest, for the control of lepidopteran pest, for the control of soil grubs, root grub, white grub, termites, and for the control of caterpillars. So these are the different organisms in different formulations. And for nematode is one major area where the chemicals fail. So we have got Coshonia clamidosporium as a product is able to control nematodes. Then we have got certain non-biological products like azadirachtin-based products. Then we have YPOD, that is a consortium of fatty acids. And we have got other biological products. There we were dealing with segments like nutrition, disease management, pest management, and apart from that, we have got plant growth promoting rhizobacteria also. We have got this humic acid and fulvic acid formulation, that is 5G. And we have got certain fungus which can help the soil health. So these are the total portfolio of products we have got, which meets all the segments, and purely they are microbials. And these products has been validated across the country since we have been using this product for so many years. So these products are well validated under different climatic conditions. So our approach towards product validation is that first we have a very robust technology to validate at the laboratory level.
She wasn't even 20, by 23, or at the age of 23.
Trials, we do different combinations, then we screen them and take the best out of the pot trials. Those formulations are then validated.
Questions now, but my answer question back on that.
One step is that R&D validation in-house. They do a multi-location trials. Then the products are validated. Whatever the product we have commercialized, validation process that it has to go through. So my wife should have a products with the existing chemical controls and they can successful few demonstrations I would like to just take you through. We tried a Bacillus thuringiensis variety commercial formulation of Mahastra and a cabbage butterfly, and this was in the crop cabbage, and the trials was conducted, recent trials.
Pharmacy. Meat. No.
Trial was a pouching into green in India. This is also a reason tried the Bacillus resistance against carbendazim and mancozeb, 3% and 63%.
Because of
we were able to get a disease control of 86% using
agrochemicals, no?
Against powdery and green against compared to the chemical carbendazim, which gave 88 point, almost on par. By this, it is clear that biologicals can replace the chemicals and they can outperform the chemicals also. Next, we had two formulations we tried. We have Trichoderma viridum and Trichoderma harzianum. One is a liquid formulation, another is a powder formulation. This also we tried in cabbage for the disease damping out. They recorded less disease incidence, only about 5%, but chemical recorded 9% of disease incidence. So in that way, biologicals or these microbes like Trichoderma viridum and Trichoderma harzianum work wonderfully for controlling the damping of disease. Very difficult to control even by chemicals, and you can see the roots showing all the balls. So there we have tried it with our formulation, Coshonia clamidosporium, with one of the wonderful nematode controlling formulations, the powder formulations. This trial was conducted in 2018-19. Here we found out that soil application of nematode-free and seedling dip of nematode-free was excellent in controlling the nematodes, and the 2 kg per acre was found most effective. soil application compared to the seedling tip. And next is we have a product where we made a consortium, Nutrisol Macro, that is a product where we had acetobacter, phosphate solubilizing bacteria, potash mobilizing, and mycorrhizae. And we applied it in Chile. The trial was conducted in Uttar Pradesh, Meerut. It was conducted last year, Rabi season. Here also, we compared the performance of this Nutrisol Macro along with our chemicals, where we found out that 4 kg per acre, we are applying Nutrisol Macro, all the parameters like plant height, primary branches per plant, secondary branches per plant, total number of fruits, average fruit weight, individual fresh weight, everything was on par with the chemical. In case of NPK, you have to apply 65 kg per acre, but our Nutrisol Macro, we had applied only 4 kg. So that is the beauty of biologicals, because these microbes, when you apply it in the soil, they do the three functions. One is that any ideal microbial inoculant, once you apply it in the soil, it has to survive first, then it has to multiply, and it has to do the desired function. So these are the three things any microbe which has to act as an ideal microbial inoculant has to do. So these results are very much an evidence for that. We have applied 4 kg per acre of Nutrisol Macro against NPKG of 65 kg per acre, but these two are giving on-par results compared with the chemicals and biologicals. So similarly, we tried a combination of zinc solubilizing bacteria, sulfur and iron combination bacteria, which our formulation Nutrisol Micro in wheat crop. The trial was conducted in Rabi season, that is 2021. Here also we found out that when you add Nutrisol Micro at 3 kg per acre, it was found at par with the chemical NPK. So all parameters, plant height, spike length, grains per spike, 1000 grain weight, yield, everything was on par with the chemical control. In some cases, they are better than the chemical control. So these are the different, I just gave a quick view about the products we have got, what is our strength, the broad range of products we have got in nutrient management, disease management, pest management, plant growth promoting that segment, and how we validate our products, and some of the trials what we do. And all this is possible only when you give a quality product, when you have that manufacturing capabilities. So we have a state of art of manufacturing plant at Haridwar, a very good plant with capabilities of producing all the formulations. And as I told, our company is have a expertise in the submerged fermentations, and we are expertise in producing the living microbes in all formulations with high density and enhanced shelf life. To achieve that, we have to implement a strict quality policies at the plant, and the entire operations are under control conditions. We have a rigorous SOP implementations. All these things are possible with the standard quality procedures that has been ensured to be followed. And we have a lot of internal checks to get a quality product in the field. So that is our strength, and these are the different products we have got. With this, I thank African Agri Expo TAG Group for giving us an opportunity to present ourselves. So I thank you one and all for your patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vimla, for your presentation. We come to an end to the second session. We have a 20 minutes break for the sessions, but we encourage all the audience to go and visit the exhibition booths, meet the sponsors, the exhibiting companies, and the important people. Go and network in the lounge and the lobby and have a great time for 20 minutes. Then you can come back to enjoy the next session, which will start in 20 minutes from now. Thank you so much.